Ooh wee! Hold up. The UGK, my goodness. What is up, my boy?
Am I
What
on the
is up?
center?
Bro, pop that. Yeah, yeah. I think it looks good. Let me see. Yeah, all good, all
Word.
good.
Hey,
All
what's
right.
up, y'all? What's up, whatnot? How y'all doing?
Welcome in, my boy. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Man, it's a great day. I finished up class for the week, so it's the weekend. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, brother. I'm glad to be here on this, you know what I'm saying, episode 2 of the Scheme Cast, man. Hey, I appreciate you for hopping in. All right, guys. Faye, thank you so much. Hey, so this right here is my boy, Select Steals. All right, he is a reseller. He is an artist. He is a college student, as you just heard. All right, he is also a streetwear enthusiast. All right, so as you can see, I mean, you see what he got on his wall. You see what he got on his body. All right, so shout out to my boy Faith. Congratulations on the giveaway. GG. I'm gonna go ahead and put up another one. Fuck it, we're gonna run two. So like I said, man, we're gonna go ahead and give him the floor. First question, man. Go ahead and let us know a little bit about yourself, brother. Where you from? You know what I'm saying? How was your upbringing? How was your childhood? Let us know a little bit about Select Steals.
All right. Well, thank you for the floor, Caden. I appreciate it. My name is Select Steels, or y'all could call me Tyler. I'm from Texas. I mean, UGK, it's kind of obvious. Grew up in a real small town, about 40 minutes south of Fort Worth. And as far as my childhood and my upbringing, I mean, I don't have anything to complain about. I knew a lot of people that, had it worse than I did. So I got nothing bad to say. Me and my mom were always super tight growing up, and honestly, even more now that I'm an adult. So I'm thankful for the relationships that, I was given by God, which is family. And I'm also thankful for where I came from, even though it's not always the most fun to go back.
Yeah, hey, I feel you on that one. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely feel that 100%. But hey, that's dope, man. That's dope. Big respect to you, brother. All right, man. Let's get straight
Thank you.
into it, brother. You told us a little bit about yourself, man. Let us know, how did you get into reselling, and you know what I'm saying. When did you get into reselling? Let us know about that, brother.
Oh, man. This is funny. How did I get into reselling is actually a pretty funny story. Because I actually got grounded for reselling when I first started. That's a whole other story. But I was essentially, when I was about 13 or 14 years old, I started getting into skateboarding kind of heavy, like middle school, and then especially like freshman year of high school is when I really started to get serious about it. But when I was, 13 years old, stupid, I just was looking for a nice skateboard. And so I went into Google and I typed in cool skateboard brands. And one of the brands that popped up was Supreme. And so obviously with other brands as well, like Blind, Anti-Hero, like all the OG Santa Cruz. But I remember like doing research into all these brands and stuff, and obviously Supreme kind of stood out among all the skateboard brands, just because of their presence and historical significance of their pieces. Who's worn what, when they wore it, how long it's been around. Compared to other skateboard brands. And I remember just gravitating towards it a lot. And then as far as reselling, that was shortly after. So I bought my first Supreme tee on Grailed. It was the Supreme Group tee from Spring Summer 18 with the Supremes on it. And I paid $72 plus shipping and taxes off of Grailed, right? And I remember not thinking anything of it. But then I look on the Supreme website and I see that their t-shirts are $38 at the time, $36 even. And and then kind of a light bulb went off in my, small 14-year-old brain. I was like, hold on. Is this like a thing that people do? Like, do people buy this off of the website and then sell it on another website? Like, when you're first introduced to like the concept of reselling on like from a grassroots level, someone's just doing it like out of their home. It's kind of confusing. But once I saw that and I was a victim of reselling, I don't even want to say a victim, but I started to realize that there's like a whole market behind this stuff. And then I started to do more research and the videos that were most influential for sure. I don't know if you remember, the chat might know, but Complex used to do these videos with racks. Do you remember those videos, Kaden?
I'm not sure. Tell us about that, man.
Bro, man. I just remember being like 14 years old, and again, just with the stupid Google search, I look up on YouTube like cool Supreme video or something, and like there used to be these videos of Complex they would shoot with this guy named Rex, and he would every single week he would go to the Supreme drop and try to get whatever it is that was coming out, and then I started to notice, I'm like, look at the lines outside of these, like for TNF week, for box logo week, especially in like 2016. I remember just seeing these videos and being even more mesmerized and
Yeah.
also confused as to like what I was seeing. But that's pretty much how it all started. Then from there, I was just doing as much research as I possibly could from that day till this day, still on the market, how it works, stuff like that, you know.
That's dope as fuck, man. Appreciate that. All right, man. Next question. I guess it's kind of similar to the first question. How would you compare the resale game now to when you first hopped in?
Man, as far as a comparison, I mean, it's still the same game. It's still buying the same things, selling to the same type of people. But what I like to say is that the pieces don't sell themselves anymore. Like, for example, in 2016, if the internet saw Justin Bieber wearing a box logo hoodie, pretty much every box logo hoodie of that type would be sold on the resale market in a week, you know? And now anybody could wear a Supreme item. And it's honestly, I think the biggest difference is the stock numbers. Like, I remember like 2017, 2018, when I really first started flipping stuff, it really felt like every single week, everything sold out. And there's just such a limited quantity. But I mean, the game is the same. The distributors just, changed up their numbers a little bit. Shout out to you, Supreme, for overloading stock on all the good items. So you just got to work a lot harder. They don't sell the pieces don't sell themselves anymore. You have to actively sell these items. You know.
All right. Hey, so I'm curious, man. I've been selling on Whatnot for the past couple of years. You've been selling on IG for how long now? How long has that been?
I just hit 2 years selling on IG in March, so it's like 2 years and a month.
Okay, that's what's up. So I was curious. I was just wondering, have you sold on other platforms, and how would you compare selling on IG to other platforms, even from what you've seen on Whatnot yourself? How would you compare those?
Yeah, well, the whole concept of a live streaming resale thing with things like Whatnot, that's kind of to me at least, is a new concept. I never had seen anything like that before. But as far as platforms, I mean, my goal was always to just diversify my products as much as possible. So not just posting on Grailed, posting on, Alias or Goat, posting on Grailed, posting on Depop. I even had a Depop at one point. Mercury. I don't sell on Mercury anymore, but I did used to have a Mercury account. But definitely, I sold on Grailed. That's where the come up started. It used to be, man, I was so green too. It used to be you would just buy something off the website. It was a hype drop. Let's say it's a shoulder bag, right? You just post a screenshot of the shoulder bag from the Supreme website and your order confirmation for like double or triple retail. And on the first day, and people on Grailed used to buy it. Like, it didn't matter what it was. If it was like slightly hype or more, if you posted it the same day of the drop, your order confirmation and everything, people would buy it. And
No cap.
like that's how I came up. Like, honestly, I think I had like three or 400 sales on Grailed before I moved to Instagram a few years ago. So
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't
but
know.
Alias as well is a really good platform. Goat, Alias has also kind of had his day in the sun. I feel like Goat was doing their thing for a while, but they just keep increasing the fees. That's why I don't think Alias is what it used to be. But yeah, as far as other platforms, Grailed was definitely, at least used to be, the come up. There used to be no taxes. They used to be able to just, that website
Man.
used to just be something else, man. Real ones know.
Hey, I know I've got some steals on girl before. I think we all have. No cap. Probably,
Yeah.
here too for sure. Hey, that Akira poster far as fuck. They showing love to you, bro. Shout out to my boy Vic. All right, I got a nice question for you, man. How much would you say have you profited the most on one sell or one item? And what was the item?
Dang.
He wasn't ready for
Dang.
it. You ain't gotta get no
I'm
numbers if
really
you don't
trying to
want to.
think.
What was the item, man?
No, I'll give you a number. I'm actually just trying to think right now what item it could be. Um, I think this is about a year ago when I sold this, and it's not a box logo or a TNF or what you would expect of like a hyped Supreme item. It's the 2020 Panther zip up jacket. You know what I'm talking about with like the Ed Hardy Panther on the arms and the back and everything.
I think so, yeah. That shit is dope.
Man, I bought that hoodie off of somebody on Instagram for I think it was like $100 plus shipping, or maybe it was like $110 in shipping. And you can go on Grailed and look at that sale right now. I sold it for $473 plus shipping. So
Sheesh. That's a nice one right there, boy. Nice little 300.
I was so geek. And the crazy thing about that sale too, that sale happened at like 12:06 a.m. on my 20th birthday. It was really weird. Like I stayed up late for my birthday, and 6 minutes after, the clock strikes 12 and it is my 20th birthday, I get that Grail notification that, somebody in Saudi Arabia or Germany or whatever, I don't even remember, bought that hoodie. That was the best birthday present ever. I was
Hey,
just so geeked on it. Like, what a great memory, man.
that's dope. That's dope as hell. Hey, so what would you say is your three top favorite brands, clothing brands?
Clothing brands. Um, my answer might be a little bit out of place. Obviously, Supreme has got to just be number one, just because my entire living room. Y'all can't see it, but there's more posters and decks and all types of stuff in this living room, and then my room as well. So Supreme's got to be number one. Number two, clothing brand. Yeah, this might sound like a crazy answer, but I gotta say Vans, just because I worked at Vans for years, and I used to just get the craziest employee discounts. Like half my wardrobe is van stuff just because I would be getting t-shirts for like $3 and socks for like $1. And man, that's got to be why. Just because of how much stuff, cool stuff that I could cop at such a low price. Like that really is half my wardrobe is van stuff. And then also I have like 20 pairs of van shoes, so I'm just a really big fan of that brand. And then number three, about a year ago, I probably would have said FTP, but lately I've been feeling Comme des Garçons a lot. Comme des Garçons, like the Japanese brand. I just think that the more research I do into Comme des Garçons and their history, their runway shows, how they were founded, who's been the creative director and what they did, I feel like every step of Comme des Garçons' journey as a brand has been influential, has been cutting edge, and has pushed not only high fashion but also streetwear and Japanese fashion forward as well. And they have so many other sub brands, and they all do different things. Like they have Comme des Garçons Homme, and then shirt. What else? They have CDG Play, which is like the heart Converse that we've all
Right,
seen. They have
right.
tons of different sub labels that all specialize in different things, and for the most part, every single sect of that company is doing things still to this day that I think are incredible and are pushing the envelope forward as far as fashion. So those got to be my top three.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Shout out to FTP as well. So
Yeah.
speaking of your job at Vans, how would you say that having a job compares to reselling?
I mean, okay. There's definitely there's something to be said about getting a paycheck in on the same day every single 2 weeks, and you can calculate and know exactly how much that you're going to be paid and know exactly when it's going to hit your account. Something about that, that's what 99% of people in this world do. And that sense of security is something that is really vital to a lot of people, including me. I mean, like I said, there's something that feels good about it. But the biggest difference is you kind of just, with reselling, you kind of have to let go of your desire for total stability, because that's totally impossible. Even if you, let's say, for example, even if you did a Whatnot stream every single day, and every single day you did a game where you had three t shirts, two hats, and 50 stickers, the amount that you're going to make off of that every single day will be different. No matter how many times you do the stream, no matter how consistent your viewers are, how much exactly you make off of that is completely up to chance. And that's the
Right.
biggest difference between having a normal job and reselling is nothing is guaranteed. I mean, if you don't get off your butt and go post something for sale and try to take good photos of it and try to be better than the next, person that's selling the same item or whatever, then you're gonna have nothing. You're not gonna take in a single dollar, especially not make a profit. So the biggest difference is just being comfortable with. I can't say being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Is being comfortable with it's being comfortable with knowing that nothing is guaranteed and that you have no idea when your next paycheck is going to hit until you can try, you can put in your every effort, you can do everything on your end, but that still doesn't guarantee for you to get a profit at the end of the day. So it's just being okay and comfortable with the fact that there's total uncertainty around the money you make.
Right. I will say that's definitely something that I think a lot of people don't want to deal with and don't want to like risk. You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
Yeah,
shout out to
it's
everybody who's
not
doing that shit
fun.
and risking it all, man, because it's definitely not easy. I can attest to that. I'm sure everybody else in the chat can attest to that. So, shout out to you, my boy. Seriously, man.
Thank
So,
you.
so, so, what's up, man? Are you just reselling now, or what's up, man?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. When I quit my job, I had a few ideas of what path I could take to go forward, and one of those ideas was to start selling stickers, while still continuing to have the same volume of clothes moving in and out as well, because I knew that I had to do something to make more money. And I had a lot of ideas on the table, but the more that I thought about it, the more that selling stickers made sense. And not only I feel like was that the right decision, but I'm just happy because people love it. Like there's really not that many people on Instagram right now that actually I'm gonna talk a little bit of ish. There's nobody that posts the volume or the with the frequency as far as stickers or with the variety or the prices that I have been doing since I quit my job, and people love it. Like I only say that because I've been told that every day since I started. People just go crazy, and it's hard to find like I guess it's just hard to find people that care so much about stupid like little stickers. You know what I'm saying? But definitely when I quit my job, I realized that I had to do something. And also, here's something else that I realized. All those clothes I was talking about buying, they do, no matter how little of a price it is, it does burn a hole in your pocket. When you work at a retail store and you're buying clothes every paycheck, you're buying shoes every paycheck, you work at a food place and you're paying for 2 meals on the job, or maybe you get one for free and you pay for the other. Over time, you can justify it by the fact that you are getting a check from that same company, but it really is just taken away from your ends at the end of the day for things that aren't needed. So there's two things that I realized when I quit my job. One, that I had to be a lot more frugal with the way that I spend money on myself specifically for things that I just want. And number two, that I needed to get another venue to take in some profit as well, besides just clothing. Um, so that's, I mean, I haven't had a job in I don't even know how many months. I will say though, scholarships and student loans help me out so much. I mean, that's most of my rent every single month. So I'm kind of just in a position right now where I'm really blessed to be able to go to school and to get help and I have to obviously like apply for these things. I have to apply for the scholarships. I have to do things that earn me the ability to get money that way. But at the same time, it's like not everybody has that ability. And so I'm just in a really specific situation right now to where it all kind of just aligned. And what made it all work was just, again, me switching my mentality about how to spend money on myself and what I need to do to earn what I need to live, basically.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's dope, man. You've been able to do that. Respect to you, my boy. That's dope as hell. So I got a question, man. Have you ever wanted to start your own brand? Have you ever thought about that?
Man, yes, yes, definitely. And that was the idea that definitely was more common for me to give my effort to when I was in high school. Like, I probably still have, I used to just go to the thrift and buy sweaters. I was honestly inspired by Comme des Garçons. Like, again, I've been geeked about Comme des Garçons since I was, in high school. But I used to just go to the thrift and buy a bunch of cheap sweaters and just cut them up and try to make, like cut and sew pieces like based on like inspirations. I used to have this little book. It was just like a black binder, but I filled it literally from cover to cover of all these ideas that I had, like for different types of bombers and jackets and like t-shirts and all and sweaters and all this stuff, pants. So for a while, like for a couple years, that was definitely my goal. But I feel like the more that I learned about the fashion industry, the less I wanted to become a part of it rather than just, selling on my own accord because it's really difficult. It's like the best comparison I can give is it's like the movie business. Like you need to do something. You need to do so much to get recognized in these types of industries that honestly that just didn't seem worth it to me. And I knew that I could do something better with, my creativity, my inspiration, etc., than just, putting out a couple pieces that I like for a drop and 20 pieces that I know people will want to buy or that will sell that I might not be as crazy about, Like when you start a brand, you don't have the money to have complete creative control. You kind of do have to pander to build up a following. I don't even want to say pander, but you have to know what audience you're advertising to before you gain an audience. You see what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Bro, I don't mean to cut you off, but real quick, we gotta say thank you, brother, because we just got blessed by we got area code 214, Luis Vicente and Mikey Sausage. Shout out to the boys. Hey, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Hey, 50% of the tips are going to you, brother. So say thank you as well, my boy, because we just got blessed. Thank you
Oh, they
so
left
much.
a. I didn't. You didn't say they left a tip. Hey, whoever left a tip, man, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that hey, thank you guys so much. Shout out to Mikey Sausage, shout out to Luis Vicente, and shout out to the word on the street. Thank you guys so much for the love. Seriously, we appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna continue on, brother. Hey, thank you so much for that answer as well. All right, let's get more into the art side of the streetwear. How important do you think it is to streetwear? You know what I'm saying? That art is a part of streetwear. How important is art to streetwear to you? Thank you so much, Faith.
Yeah. So, I mean, streetwear is art at the end of the day. Streetwear. When people say streetwear, I feel like most people's minds immediately go to a brand. But what people don't realize is that way before any of these brands were popping, that streetwear still existed. And what these brands are doing is taking inspiration from that type of fashion and trying to do something artful with it or trying to do something that's, rooted in what streetwear culture is, which was, as a Texas boy, this hurts to say, but it was born and bred in New York City. I mean, there's no debating that streetwear was absolutely made in New York City. And I think that art is important to streetwear because it really is telling a story. It's telling a story of anybody who started skateboarding in the 1970s or 60s or 80s. It's also telling the story of hip hop. It's also telling the story of youth culture. It's telling the story of a lot of minority culture. Like, a big part of streetwear is like, black, Hispanic, and Asian creators obviously are huge influences on the streetwear realm. And I like that to create the art of streetwear, people take influences from other art. Like, it goes deeper as well than just, Supreme putting a Pablo Picasso painting on a hoodie or something. Like I feel like art and streetwear are so intertwined because I mean they really embody each other. Streetwear is art and art is streetwear to me. That's kind of how I see it.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. So, with that being said, who would you say are your top three artists as far as streetwear or just regular art? Who's your top artist, man?
Starts and ends with Basquiat. I mean, I was a huge fan of Jean Michael Basquiat when I was younger, but especially when I read and learned about the story of his life. I mean, I'll just tell a little bit. when he was a minor, 17 years old, to support his art and to gain the money he needed for paint and canvases and the time and a studio to paint. Uh, Jean-Michel Basquiat was a male prostitute and actually contracted HIV from that, which is, I know this is sounds like the most insane story, but when I read that, it honestly blew my mind that somebody was so dedicated to their art that they will be willing to basically like disrespect and violate themselves in every way just to get to the point where they wanted to get, because they just wanted to express themselves so badly. And if you he didn't really leave behind many interviews, but I watched every single one. I watched every single Basquiat interview on the internet. And if you just listen to him talk about the creative side of things and why he's inspired, and you can really see it, like all of his influences in his painting. And not to say, I mean, all that aside, the paintings that man created while he was still alive are just second to none. I mean, the creativity. I have his self portrait. I have a poster of his self portrait over there because it's just so amazing. And the art is what first spoke to me. But when I learned about what was behind the art, it all really clicked. So Basquiat will always be my number one favorite artist. And the legacy he left behind is unmatched. But as far as other artists, ooh, I really love Sean Cliver. Now that might sound like supreme, writing. But truly, I think it's the opposite. I mean, I think that Supreme works with Sean Cliver so much because he was dope before Supreme ever existed. He's been making decks and designs since before Supreme was ever even an idea. And I just think it's cool the fact that they still continue to give him, the money and respect and the time. But I think Sean Cliver is really revolutionary for skateboarding art specifically. Really just breaking down the barriers. Like I can't name another artist who would put, Hitler and a KKK member, little kids dressed up like Hitler and a KKK on a skateboard, and it would sell out in seconds. And that just goes to show how incredible his art style is, how innovative he is as an artist. And so I have a lot of respect. Another thing about Sean Cliver, if you can get in contact with him, he will sign anything that you have of his for free. You could send him 50 stickers and he'll send you back 50 signed stickers. So I really like when even artists that make, tons of money off this stuff are still willing to do stuff like that for their fans. So Sean Cliver's got to be number two for sure.
I didn't know that. That's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
That
And
number.
I'm trying to think of the third.
I just want to say shout out to Jean-Michel Basquiat. I love Basquiat as well. Like I got a lot of random Basquiat shit in my room, so I even gave
And you
my
sold
little
me a
sister a Basquiat hoodie. She don't know what it is, but I was like, "Where is this?"
No, you actually told me a Basquiat Bear Brick. That's like my prized Bear Brick. Like I would never sell that. I don't even care if it's worth like whatever. Like I'm always gonna keep that. Um,
That was dope.
man,
Well,
trying to
honey,
think of a third
congratulations.
artist that I really rock with.
Hey, the first two are
I'm gonna just
some really nice
say
ones for
thank you, bro. I'm gonna just say it's gotta be Picasso, because a lot of people don't know that Picasso was alive until what the 1990s. So he's a very modern artist. But if you look at what Picasso did with his style of cubism and how he used the style that he developed specifically to portray the situation that Mexico was in and Spain was in during the Civil War before World War II, then you'll understand like just how important Picasso was to how important he was basically to the whole world. I mean, his art completely changed the world. It showed the rest of the world exactly the plight and the struggles that people in Mexico and people in Spain, people in a lot of Latina countries, were going through. And I just love that he used his art to make a bigger change in the world. I think that's really admirable.
yeah, 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 for sure. Shout out to Picasso. Uh, they want to know, man, what's up with Cost? Is they? I know you got that shirt signed by or spray painted by him, right? How'd you do that, man? Tell us about that.
Man, should I show it? Should I go get it and show it or what?
Hey, if you want to, man, hey, it's your table, brother.
I'll be right back.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Cost is also an artist. He'll tell you more about him because he knows more about him than I do. But he got a very cool item he's about to pull out and show y'all.
So a lot of people maybe don't know. I had never owned this T-shirt until recently, but Cost is legendary, legendary. He actually was originally in a group called Cost Revs, but just super, super influential graffiti artist out of New York City. Again, with the New York love, you know. I don't Texas boy. It hurts me to say, but graffiti also was born and bred in New York City. And I've always just been really inspired by his style. You know, I would never graffiti, but if I did, then I would be very inspired by his works. Because I have watched, I remember just when I first discovered who he was, just going on YouTube and trying to find any videos I could on him. You know, graffiti artists are super secretive and whatever, but just super, he's like a trailblazer. He's a pioneer. Like what Cost Revs did for the graffiti community in New York City can't be overstated. But just want to show you all these. I did get all of these stickers signed, the original Cost sticker signed, the Supreme number. These are all Supreme stickers. And then the Cost had a fun time with Madonna. And then he actually did sign the Supreme Madonna for me as well. So thank you to Cost. But
Hey,
definitely,
what years are those stickers, real quick? I didn't mean to cut you off, but how old are those stickers right there?
well, the dead stock with tag XL black tee that I got right here says fall winter 2010. But he also did sign his own Supreme collab T-shirt, which is the only one in the
Yeah,
world.
that
He
shit is.
confirmed to me that he confirmed to me that he's never signed anything Supreme in his entire career. I did have to pay a pretty penny to get all of these things signed and sent back to me, but he was super cool. I mean, the dude is super cool. And I was very happy that he was down to take this project in because you don't know what kind of response you're going to get when you reach out to an artist like that. You know, you don't know who they are. They could be crazy. They could be a jerk. Like, but he was super cool about all of it. What's actually funny is at first he thought that I was like, first he thought that because I messaged him and I said, "Hey, Cost, I have something that's really important to your history as an artist, and I'd like to get it memorialized." And he DM'd me back. He said, "Are you the one that's been stealing all my signs over New York City? Like, who keeps stealing all my signs and reselling them on eBay?" I was
What?
like, no. I was like, no. Like, I live in Texas, bro. Like, whatever. He's like, where you live? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, it was very confrontational to start the conversation. Someone's been stealing his graphics. Whoever you are, you caused me a lot of grief. But no, after I explained to him, he was like, he thought the t-shirt was fake. He's like, there's no way you got that. Like, that shit came out like 14, 15 years ago. Like, how'd you get it still with tags? Like, blah, blah, blah. There's no way. And I sent him pictures and he was like, oh.
That's dope, bro. That's hella dope.
So yeah, I just worked it out with him, and actually, I really do rock with him because he gave me a price that was really, really high. But once we started talking some more, and he realized I was just a college student, like I'm not like some like ritzy, like rich Supreme guy or whatever. Once he realized that I was a student, he cut the price that he wanted in less than half because he knew that I was, 21 years old. I'm not trying to scalp him or resell it on eBay or anything. So I'm glad you asked me about that because that was a really cool experience. I posted I posted a screenshot of a DM he sent me about how that's the only signed Cost Supreme item, and he sent me a cease and desist. Basically, he was like, delete that. Like, don't ever never post like our messages. Like, I'm trying to stay low. The cops been after me for 25 years. Like, blah blah blah. I was like, okay.
25 years? Yeah, that's kind of
I
crazy.
was like,
Hey, so I just want to touch on a subject you just brought up. You said he showed you a little bit of love because you were a college student. I just want to know, how do you balance out, you know what I'm saying, being a college student and doing all what you're doing and just your personal life? Like, but mainly like with the reselling and all that. Like, how do you balance all that out? Because it's got to be a lot, right?
Man, as much as I want to make reselling and making money essentially my number one priority, you just can't. And that's been like the biggest lesson I've had to learn when balancing these things. And it was especially hard when I had a job. I had a job, I went to school full time, and I did reselling. And that was when it was like especially hard, but just always maintaining like school as my first priority and never letting that suffer is like the first key. And then just after that, it really just takes like a lot of discipline. Like there's a lot of times when I get home after school and I want to lay down in my bed and just like do nothing so badly. Like everybody knows what that feeling is like. Like you get off of work, you get out of school, whatever just happened, and all you want to do is sit down and do nothing. But I just had to train my brain to not enjoy that. Like basically, like I had to just train my brain to understand that like that's not going to get me anywhere, and I'm wasting time. I'm wasting the most valuable time of my life. It's always the most valuable time of your life because you'll never be that young again. So you got to like really seize that. And so just basically the way I manage it all is just remind myself every day to not get out hustled by a crackhead. You feel me?
They be out here hustling in Austin, bro. You already know what's up. Bro.
Bro,
Yo, I
it's
had one.
ridiculous out here.
Yo, I had one come up to me, dog. That bro, I respect it because look, all I'm gonna say is I can only respect the ones that's out there hustling, actually doing something. And bro was out there. He had one of them things that clean your windshield, and I pulled up to the front of the light. And he was out there at the intersection, and he went to go do it, and I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good, I'm good. And he was like, I got you. And he just did it anyways, and I was like, ah, I was like, you know what? I respect that, bro. I gave him $1. I was like, I respect that, like. You know what I'm saying? But they do be crazy out here, though. Don't let them out hustle you.
Bro. Yes, I mean everyone knows the saying, a crackhead gets up. Do they say, "Oh, I can't get a hit today"? Nah, they never say that. Every single day they say, "I got to get a hit today," and then they do whatever they need to do to get it. So as long as you don't get out hustled by a crackhead, I think that's a good day. That's just my mentality with it.
Hey, it's a good day, though, brother. It's a good day. I'm dead. Oh, shit. All right, man. Uh, so, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe wants to start reselling and never done it before? Um, what's something you would tell them? What's some tips you would give them?
I think the most important thing you can do is to get as much knowledge as you can. And some knowledge, has to be learned. Like I could sit here and talk about the little itty bitty details and aspects of selling and buying and where to get things and blah blah blah. But that can only take you so far. You can't articulate any of that knowledge if you don't also have a knowledge of what that item is, how much that item goes for, when it came out, is it real? How can you tell if it's real? How can you tell if it's fake? Just I think the biggest tip I can give to anybody who wants to start reselling is to just get as much knowledge about what you're going to be selling as possible. You got to think about what it's like for a business to sell something, right? A large scale business will have a team of people to study, okay, how does the market interact with this specific product? Why? What part of the country is this product the most popular in? Why? They'll have a whole team of people that dedicate their entire job to learning and getting knowledge about things and how they sell. So you just have to approach it the same way as a business. Like you have to get as much knowledge about what you're selling and then how to sell it is just kind of something you got to learn through doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So, with that being said, how would you say that you learn so much? Because I just want to say, like, for anybody who doesn't know, me and Select Stills, my boy Tyler, we met through IG, and ever since I met him, like, he's definitely just always provided me with a bunch of knowledge as far as the history, of Supreme and other brands and all that. So, I just want to say salute to you, brother, because you know shout out to you for that because a lot of people don't do that, including myself. So I'm definitely curious, like, why and how did you get to that point where you're like, damn, this is what I got to do. This is I got to look up and research as much as I can, or was that just always natural for you?
Thank you, first of all, for the shout out. I mean, I don't know everything, obviously. There's probably a million people out there that know more than I do that, there's always a bigger fish type of thing. But I mean, as far as how to learn these things, like, I think, like you said, like, it just comes natural. Like, if you're really passionate, I think anybody can relate to this, right? If you're passionate about anything, if you're passionate about music, if you're passionate about art, if you're passionate about skateboarding, if you're passionate about whatever it is, then learning more about that subject is the easiest thing in the world to do. You actually do it without even consciously knowing. If you're really passionate about something, pretty much every day something's going to come to your head. Oh, what about this? And you'll look it up and then you'll learn more about it. I feel like everybody has something. For some people it's probably like football. They love football so much that they want to know, all the running backs that have rushed for 2,000 yards. The next day they think about it, they're like, oh, I want to know all the quarterbacks that have passed for 40 touchdowns in a season. And then they go look that up. And then if you just if you just really love something and you have a real passion for it, then every single day you're going to learn something without even consciously making an effort towards doing it. And if that's not how you feel, then maybe that's not your passion. Maybe you just like making money, which is cool. That's cool too. Um, but yeah, as far as learning all the things that I have, it's just honestly, I've never had to try because it's just kind of what I always wanted to do. I wanted to know more about Supreme. I wanted to know more about when it came out, the who, the what, the when, and the why. And yeah, I feel like anybody, whatever you're passionate about, it really should just come natural to you if that's what you really care about.
Okay. So, with some of that being said, what would you say is the difference between just getting money and really being passionate about something? How would you be able to? How can you differentiate that within yourself?
Yeah. And it gets really complicated when you talk about people whose passion is getting money.
I'm
um,
just curious, like that's exactly what I'm saying. Is I feel like a lot of people are passionate just about mainly getting money, but for people who are very passionate about, like you said, art or whatever else it may be, how do you think somebody maybe could differentiate that within themselves?
well, something that I say to myself often when I see, Supreme sell out every single week and nobody's wearing it except for the real fans. I say there's more fans of making money than there are of Supreme, right? So,
Right,
I
for
mean, at
sure.
the end of the day, I think the best thing that you could do for yourself is to just, I mean, what do you ask yourself, what do you want to do? Do you wake up in the morning and have a genuine desire to go into the Supreme archives on their website and watch every single video and look at every collab? Is that something that you wake up and think about on your own, before I said or before anybody else said anything? And if the answer is no, then maybe your passion is just making money, and maybe you like the clothes, but it's not your passion. But I feel like you just have to ask yourself, like, is there an innate desire inside of me that wants to not only expand my knowledge about what I'm doing, but also I feel like a big test is, what does your personal collection look like? Do you geek out when you get a package in the mail and it's a t-shirt that you've been looking for 6 years? Is that like an experience that you have? If every package you open with a new Supreme item, you're just like, okay, another Supreme item, and it doesn't matter if it's archive or new or whatever. If that's how you feel when you open a package, then you're probably not too passionate about it, because I mean, still to this day, I got this package in today, but when I opened this UGK package, it made me feel like I was a 5 year old on this Christmas day. Like, it doesn't matter how old I am, the feeling will always be the same, just because I have like that innate desire inside of me. So you really just have to like communicate and try to understand yourself to understand like what your desire and what your passions are.
Oh yeah. So with that being said about that hoodie, would you say that that's one of the like most exciting packages you've opened ever? If not, which one was it? What was it that just got you so lit where you're like, bruh, hell yeah, I needed this.
Bro, this is okay. I'm gonna give you kind of a cheating answer. So first of all, I've been asking for a UGK collab or a Bumby photo tee. Either one would have been fine, but I have been asking for this collab for multiple years. Multiple years, I have said all they need to do is a UGK collab. They already did Outkast or Andre 3000. They already did Ghetto Boys. They already did 36 Mafia. As soon as they do UGK, hey, Goody Mob will be nice too, but I know that's never gonna happen because CeeLo Green is a weirdo. So as long as they did those four, Ghetto Boys, UGK, Outkast, and 36 Mafia, I was gonna be happy. So to get this finally and to have all those items, it really just did feel like a full circle moment because I've been asking for this for years. But the most exciting package I ever got. Again, I said this answer is gonna be cheating, so sorry. But for YouTube videos, I typically save all the packages I get for weeks, and I open them all on camera. And one time, it was two specific packages. One that I spent a four-digit amount on, and it had everything. It had box logos, photo tees, stickers, accessories. It had Toshio Maeda hoodie, like one of the crazy anime ones. You know what I'm talking about. It had like the Supreme Money Gun inside of it, like the first time I ever owned it, and I also had another package of over 40 T-shirts, over 40 Supreme T-shirts, and the package was like this big, and there's backpacks and jackets and over 40 t-shirts. I remember opening all that stuff at once, and like it literally felt like I was high. Like it felt afterwards like I had just done a drug or something because I was just so excited.
Just opening up like hell yeah, right? Hey, so they want to know, and I want to know too, man. What's up with the YouTube videos? You still doing them, James? Or what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm just a lazy bum, and I need to not get out hustled by a crackhead because I am and have been for months. I have YouTube videos recorded. Like I did a legit check for a Biggie Small Supreme tee. I did a legit check for Kate Moss tee and poster. Legit check for 36 Mafia poster. Like I have all these legit check videos recorded. I just always forget to that like videos take more effort than I thought. Like you gotta edit it, you gotta add music, you gotta like you gotta clip it and trim it and do all this work with the video, and then you gotta upload it, and all that stuff takes like several hours. Even for like a 5 minute video, that could take like multiple hours. And I
Right.
just never get around to doing the little things. But I have YouTube videos. I do have YouTube videos recorded. They're on my computer, edited, ready to go, everything. I just forget. I just forget, honestly.
Drop one tomorrow, bro. I'm
I
dead.
drop one soon. I know I need to. You're totally right.
So let's conclude this, man. Where do you see yourself going with Select Stills, and what does Select Stills mean to you, brother?
Select steals. Well, what it really means is select pieces for steal prices. But it
Right.
means a lot to me. I mean, again, like Schematic already said, we actually met each other through Instagram and linked that way, and then ever since, like I probably have gone over to your house just to chill or do some little more, way more times than I've gone over there with a giant bag full of stuff with just the intent of trading. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have we just gone out to eat or just like done something
Yeah.
for fun? You know what I'm saying? And that would have never been possible if I hadn't created this account and tried to create these connections. So that it means a lot to me because of some of the friendships that I've been able to make through that platform. And where do I see myself? Where do I see it going in the future? I never want to stop. That's my thing. I never want to stop, even if my goal is to go to law school. So even after I graduate law school and I'm a lawyer, it doesn't matter if I'm making $1 million a year. I still that passion just won't die. No matter how much I want to kill it, no matter how much my wallet wants to kill it, it just won't die. And I really at this point think that it never will. So yeah, where I see myself is just never stopping. I really hope that I never stop. At least putting out content. At least like geeking out over the stuff that I like. And maybe if the internet likes it too, then they do. If they don't, they don't.
Right. No, that's dope, my boy. Hey, I just want to say, man, I'm proud of you. You've been doing your thing, man. Keep going. I know you will. You know what I'm saying? You just said it. But I appreciate you for hopping on and providing your knowledge and, some motivation and, a lot about yourself. And I think that's going to conclude it right there, brother. Again, thank you so much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, the boy Select Steals.